Here in Washington, D.C. by Maurice Carney. He's the co-founder and executive director of the advocacy group Friends of the Congo. Maurice, welcome to Democracy Now! Tell us the latest, and especially in a country like ours that is so insulated, even though the global power in the world. Just explain where the Congo was and set this in a geopolitical context for us.
Certainly. Thank you for having us on today, Amy, to talk about this very vital situation. The Congolese people are on the verge of experiencing another humanitarian catastrophe, one that they've really experienced over the last 12 years. Congo itself is located in the heart of Africa. It's literally and figuratively the fulcrum on which Africa swings. It's the size of Western Europe, bordered by 9 other African countries. So when something happens in the Congo, it affects not only its neighbors, but the entire African continent. And it's this geostrategic storehouse of minerals that are central or vital to the functioning of modern technology, as well as the U.S. and Western aerospace and military industries. So it's a critical country, not only for the African continent, but for the world as a whole.
So explain the latest developments right now in the Congo, in eastern Congo, and the role of Rwanda, and then I'll ask you about the United States.
Well, the latest development is a result of what's been transpiring for the last 12 years or so. The central question that we see in the Congo is who's going to control Congo's wealth and for whose benefit. Wangari Maathai, the Nobel laureate, said that these wars, when you look at them, it's about who's going to control the resources. And this conflict in the Congo that we see today is a resource conflict. And the latest expression of this resource conflict is Laurent Nkunda's rebel group that is trying to capture and control resource-rich areas in eastern Congo. That's backed up by the Rwandan government, who has invaded the Congo twice, first in 1996 and again in 1998. With the full backing of the United States and other Western nations. And this is according to congressional testimony that was held in 2001 when Cynthia McKinney and Tom Tancredo had hearings on the situation in the Congo, where you had experts on the oath documenting U.S. involvement or backing of the invasions.
What is the scope of the killings right now, and who is actually doing them? Who is Nkunda?
Nkunda is a former member of the Rwandan military. He had fought with the Rwandan Patriotic Forces when they replaced the so-called Hutu regime in 1994. He is also under an executive order from President Bush, who outlined that he should be called for or brought to justice for committing war crimes. And he's heading up a group called the Congress, or the National Congress for the Defense of the People. So he and his group is made up of about 6,000 rebel forces, which is a key point because these conflicts are often presented as Africans warring against each other. But what we have here is a small group, 6,000, in a nation of nearly 60 million that's getting strong support by one of U.S.'s staunchest allies in the region, Rwanda.
Who is selling weapons?
Well, you have a number of weapons traders in the area. From 2001 to 2003, the United Nations documented the trades of arms in the Congo. It identified individuals such as George Forestad of Belgium. Also looked at Eastern European nations that are involved in arms trades in the region.
And can you talk about the natural resources in the region, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, that might explain why so many countries are involved right now, Maurice Carney?
Well, Congo is endowed with spectacular natural resources that are vital to the functioning of modern society. We can take, for example, cobalt, of which Congo has 1/3 of the world's reserve of cobalt. Cobalt, the Congressional Budget Office says cobalt is a strategic mineral for the U.S.'s aerospace and military industries. For those of us who are concerned about environmentally friendly cars, such as a hybrid, cobalt is a central mineral for the functioning of the batteries in those cars. You have about 2.5 kilograms of cobalt in a Toyota Primus, for example. You have coltan or columbite tantalite. Congo has anywhere from 64 to 80% of the world's reserve of this mineral, which is found in almost every cell phone. It's found in the video games that our children play. It's found in the airbags in our automobile and the air suspension brakes. It's actually the wonder resource or wonder mineral of our time. You have tin, which is vital to the functioning of our computers and laptops. So there are a number of strategic minerals that are found in the Congo that are key to the functioning of modern society and modern industries.
The different forces beyond Rwanda, even Angola right now, and Zimbabwe involved in fighting in the Congo?
Well, the different forces that came into the Congo, you have to understand, Congo was invaded in 1996, where Laurent Kabila, the father, was installed, and then invaded again in 1998 when Kabila fell out with his backers, Rwanda and Uganda. As a result of the second invasion in 98, Kabila reached out to its SADC members, Southern African Development Community members, Angola and Zimbabwe, to come to the rescue and forestall Rwanda's and Uganda's effort to overthrow him. Here we have again today where we see Rwanda backing Nkunda vowing to go all the way to Kinshasa, and Angola has said, well, we're not going to allow that to happen again. We're going to step in. So now you see the Angolans coming in. That's why in today's New York Times editorial, it warns about a regional war occurring as a result of Rwanda's backing of Nkunda, and Angola now saying that it's going to come into the fray.
What is the role of the UN peacekeepers who are in eastern Congo? More thousands are being sent right now.
Well, there are 17,000 peacekeepers, UN peacekeepers in eastern Congo. They're being kept there or maintained there to the tune of $1 billion a year. However, Congo is the size of Western Europe. You have about one peacekeeper for every 10,000 people or so. So they have a daunting task to try and bring about peace and stability in the region. So they've had difficulty protecting the civilian population. So you have Nkunda's troops really running circles around the UN troops. In addition to that, the UN troops, the mandate is limited. They don't have an offensive mandate. So that makes it even more difficult for them to rout the rebel forces of Laurent Nkunda. But I must say, Amy, the issue is not even so much the UN forces. What we see in the Congo is policies coming from the West that prioritize profit over the people. Kabila himself was installed in 2006 in elections that were held in the Congo with the full backing of the Western powers, to the exclusion of the pro-democracy and grassroots forces inside the Congo. So you hear today experts in the media saying, well, Kabila should control the country, or he should do more with his own troops who've also been accused of committing atrocities. But it's not in the political DNA of the Kabila government to govern. The government actually reigns, but it does not govern. And when it was put in place by the Western nations, they knew very well what the outcome would be, because he was put in place in order to provide unfettered access for Congo's vast mineral resources to Western corporations. And this has been documented in Foreign Policy magazine back in 2006 by Paul Bouvier and John Engelbert. They clearly stated that the U.S. and Western nations were prioritizing stability over democracy. We argued at that time that the U.S. or the Western nations would get neither stability nor democracy because the policies were flawed in the first place.
What do you see